The year sucked, but the music slapped. Hi guys, welcome back. It's your girl, Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me, internet friends. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and overall vibing. We appreciate you always and forever, as if I am Klaus Michelson, or any of the Michelson clan, really.
I'm part of Always and Forever, too.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Today, I am retiring my husband list. I may make one more for the year 2025, but that will probably be my last husband list. I'm turning 30. I should probably start looking for a real husband. Nah. In conjunction with that, I am doing a wrap up similar to how I did my favorite albums of 2023, I believe. I have more albums this year because honestly, the year sucked, but the music slapped. The soundtrack to my sadness was going off this year. You know what I mean? Like, was I sad? Yes. Was I espresso depresso? Yes. But did Sabrina Carpenter put out espresso? Yes. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I'm going to give you another top 5. Darling. With this, we're going to be talking about my favorite albums of the year of 2024. I don't want to talk about my Apple Music because I use Apple Music. Sorry, and not cool like the Spotify kids, but I use Apple Music, so I don't want to talk about my Apple Music Wrapped. I don't really think it accurately depicts me. Anyways, regardless, I will be giving you my top 15. I know that's a big number.
That's a big word for Elmo.
I know, come back to me. I know it's a big number, but there was so much good music. And I will also be giving you my commentary on what I hope to see forward in 2025, what I liked about 2024, and the works. I'm gonna need my handy dandy notebook. Except it's not my notebook this time. Isn't that weird? Fear not, my notebook is not retired. She's just on sabbatical. The first album that will inevitably kick off our list, and excuse me if I get any of the names or album names wrong, some of you people were really trying me in this year.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets.
One of those people is Chromakopia by Tyler, the Creator. Chromakopia is how I say it. I apologize if that's not how it's supposed to be said, Mr. Tyler. But I wanted to start with this one because the West Coast was really up this year, and why not start with the weirdest and funnest album there was? The reason why this is, I would say, one of my favorite albums of the year, if not my favorite album of the year, is because the synchronicity throughout the entire listening experience. You can listen to any two songs back to back and they sound like they flow into each other, but if you listen to it from top to bottom, it sounds like the most perfect story and evolution of a person who is now older. As someone who, again, is turning 30 in 2025, there's something that is so mentally exhausting and weary in this weird time, because we were all kids that grew up with the internet, so pull it up old tweet, pull it up old t-shirt, and I'm I feel the same way. I don't know who that person was before I turned 25. I don't know who that bitch was. I don't know what she was saying on the internet. I don't know what she was saying. What? I was who was this even person? I don't even know who that girl was. I don't stand for anything she ever believed in, and now I have to explain to other people what that is. So I kind of understood it. I was young till a nigga hit 30,
I was young man and a nigga hit 30. I was 1 mil and a nigga hit 30. Bitch, you ain't Coco golf, you can't serve me.
Hits in a different way because it's there's another part of you that unlocks, and he kind of explains that. But with that, he also balances his commentary on hip-hop and the culture currently, which I think he's such an interesting person to do that, because there are generations of hip-hop, similar to how there are generations of K-pop. I'll talk about this a little bit later. And he came in with this edgy generation. He came in with when we were watching YouTubers like Shane Dawson and David Dobrik, he came out with crazy shit, and we were all
this is so fucking edgy, man.
Me and Rocky cuddle and watch Smack DVD.
I don't cuddle.
I be licking this nigga braids
I used to listen to EPAR by Earl Sweatshirt. He's a member of Odd Future, which is Tyler, the Creator, Frank Ocean, all of them. EPAR, if you've never heard EPAR, I'm gonna just put a lyric from EPAR right here. I'm not gonna play the song because I'm not doing that to myself anymore. But let me tell you how bad that time was. And so to grow up in a time where you felt like you had to be edgy and say the most heinous shit to stand out and make sense, and then now evolving into a human, I just really correlate with that. And then also Tyler is a lyricist. Like, I love a storytelling lyricist. I think that lyrics really took the front, like, forcing piece of like music this year. I think lyrics were the most important part. Yeah, beats were important, but the lyrics of a lot of these things were what drew me into these albums. And I feel like his stories were so accurately portrayed, like he did in Take Your Mask Off. I hope you take your mask off.
Big ass house that's on the hill, big ass wheels in the garage, 3 cute kids that's in your arms, your husband just made another meal, you want your life back in a massage, tired of being at home, personality gone, body ain't been the same, postpartum is long, your identity gone.
And similarly in Thought I Was Dead, which is my favorite song ever written. I'm now saying it. Before this, it definitely was country shit with like Ludacris and Big Crit. But now, my favorite song ever written is Thought I Was Dead by Tyler, the Creator.
10 years later, might have changed my mind. I'm a fake ass bitch, don't kill me. I'm a hypocrite, ain't really. I'm a big troll, haha, I'm silly. Think you know about being better than them niggas that you hate. You ain't good ass shit, you can't feel me. Tokyo one trick, go, I'm Billy.
I will ride for that song no matter what. It's so good. Like, I want to get...
I'ma crash shit out to my hair white.
I got Too Much Drive on the Terabyte tattooed on my forehead. I kid you not. It may end up on my body at some point. If not that...
Y'all wanna take what I got, but y'all do not got what it takes.
Y'all niggas wanna take what I got, but y'all do not got what it takes. There's... Ooh!
Whatever it is, I am not gonna overreact to this. It is just a song. I'm gonna have a completely normal reaction.
White boys mocking this shit and y'all mad at me, y'all can suck my dick.
Yeah, this is the greatest artist of our generation. Get this motherfucker a Grammy for Album of the Year right now!
The braggadociousness and the beauty behind that album is just simply unfathomable. Next up, we have Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran. I'm not saying that remotely correct.
Las mujeres ya no lloran.
And that was by Shakira. Shakira had a whirlwind last year with her whole situation with her whole not husband cheating on her, and she really put that into her music this year, and I really love and appreciate that. On this album has some great hits. It has her BZRP music session that literally took the internet, went viral, like broke records. That shit was hot fire. And if you think the song sucked, your name is probably Clara Mente.
She has the name of a good person. It's clearly not what it sounds like. She has the name of a good person, but clearly not the same as you. Clearly in Spanish is Claramente. The mistress's name is Clara. And once again, there's a pause after she says Clara.
Oh my god. Dang.
Like, how can you not love her? I mean, there's truly no argument here that she fully intended to include his name and his mistress's name and making it full-on wordplay. Sorry, baby, I said rato.
If you think that song sucked, you're definitely one of those two people. If you think that album sucked, you're probably correlated to one of those two people. So I don't trust your opinion. My favorite song, though, is Tiempo Sin Verte. There's something so old school Shakira about it. It feels like a sweeter, like, interesting version of, like, what she usually does. Llevo tiempo sin verte, sigo aquí, y no pasa un día que no piensa en ti. Llevo tiempo sin verte, dime si aún me quieres. long since loved Shakira. I mean, who doesn't remember Hips Don't Lie and how that moved all of us in our hips? But I think that she really showcased her artistry on another level, because I feel like a lot of people forget how good she is when she's not singing in English.
Se nota cuando se quiere, pero cuando no se nota más. Con tu papel continúa, te queda bien ese show, te felicito que bien actúas, eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa, te queda bien ese show, te felicito que bien actúas. Empires of the world unite, we are alive, and the stars make love to the universe, and you touch me, and I'm like,
But this album truly showed, oh no, I got hits, bitch. I got hits since you were born. In fact, the hits that I have, you will never be able to denounce them, because I have hits and I will show you how beautiful I can make other songs. So that's why that's my number 2. I really loved it. My number 3 goes to Short and Sweet by Miss Sabrina Carpenter.
I heard you're back together, and if that's true, you'll just have to taste me when he's kissing you.
If you follow my channel, you know I saw her in concert and it was a whirlwind. I think this album really made the list because not only does it have that lyricism, the fun cheekiness that she has into it with some interesting melodies and references, but I think also seeing her grow is unfathomable for me. Like, it's like when I was watching Wicked and I was like, wow, I can't believe I saw this bitch being Cat on Victorious. That's wild. Like, I feel the same way. I'm like, I saw her when she was Maya Hart. I watched her every week religiously, and now she's this superstar. One of the things I really love about her is that her authenticity, her ability to showcase her authenticity while still guarding herself is fantastic. Like, she's so good at feeling like your best friend and this is our sleepover, and that's what the whole Short and Sweet album really is. It really does feel like you're giggle gaggling with your best friend and showcasing those beautiful moments while also still being like, oh wait, I really don't know who the fuck Sabrina Carpenter is. Like, I don't know any of her opinions on life. Like, I don't know anything except for I know who she's dated and I know that she's hilarious.
Usually people are telling me not to curse, and so I came out here and it looks like a church a little bit in here.
It really does, doesn't it?
I was like, don't curse, the Lord's upon us. And I was like, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And you just did that.
I just did do that, yeah.
I do with the nog, now that you mention it.
Like, she's cheeky and hilarious. Two of those things are shown very much in Juno.
If you love me right, then who knows? I might let you make me Juno.
Which is one of my favorite songs. So much my favorite song that I made a S. Coops, who is one of my biases in K-pop, edit to it.
Make you fall in love. Oh. I showed my friends, then we high-fived. Sorry if you feel objectified. Can't on myself, hormones are high. Give me more than just some butterflies.
I love it so much. Again, it has the reference, it has the cheek, it has the funniness, the breakdown where she goes, I'm so fucking horny. The words horny being written out in Starlight, like, if that wasn't enough to tell you don't bring your kids here, I don't know what was. Hits every time, especially because I saw it in concert.
My red flag?
Yeah.
Clinically horny.
Oh.
Wait, you went to a doctor and they told you this?
That was
What does she mean
so earnest.
clinically? Is there medication for this?
So funny, so great. And then she still exercises beautiful vocals, like in Dumb and Poetic. has a standard for herself that is very high and very beautiful and very ethereal. The album feels like everything is on the same album, but it doesn't feel as cohesive as like Tyler the Creator's. It does feel like more of a chapter book, like you're going through chapters rather than you're reading one long short story. But it is beautiful to watch her develop these chapters with such interesting lyricism that highlight her cheekiness and her hilarity. Like, showing how funny you are is very hard, especially when you're not a comedian, so her doing that is genius.
I love Sabrina Carpenter so much. Could not relate to music less. It's so confident. Every song she has is the most confident song I've ever heard in my life about how tiny and hot she is. And I'm like, this isn't for me, but I cannot stop listening to it. She's so good.
Next up, we have Muse by Jimin. This is our first K-pop album on the list. It is fantastic. I love this one especially because we've seen Face, and like Face was good. Like, we like Face. Face is good. Face said it's Faces. It was good. But this one was like, this is what I expect from you, Jimin. This is what I expect from you. I expect cheeky fun, like in the Schmigadoo track. That's not what it's called. It's the marching band one. I expect smartness. I expect vocals, dancing, all of this like ballady feels. Like, I expect a lot of those things from Jimin, and he really delivered on that album. Slow Dance really gave us that beautiful feeling. The fact that he can make me like Sophia Carson is crazy, because she was in Purple Hearts and I haven't looked at that bitch since. No offense to Sophia if she sees this. She's just not my favorite. She's not been in my favorite projects other than like Descendants.
See you all rep your block. I wanna see you all rep your block. Just when you cried, let me hear you shout. We're from the Isle of the Lost. We're here to celebrate. We're here to elevate.
And so seeing her on this, I was like, you couldn't have found someone else, you're Jimin. But then hearing her do the live with him,
감사합니다, Jimin. 감사합니다, Sophia.
I felt like, oh, this is who needed to be on the track. She wasn't afraid to be like, this is a love song between two people, and we're gonna act that out. We're gonna do that vibe. And, you know, a lot of people are. Like, Lotto didn't even shoot the music video with JK. And then Who was a perfect title track because it really blended like the commercial pop vibes we were getting from JK and the something that is so distinct to your style that we were getting from V. It's like, this feels like Jimin, this makes sense, but it also feels like a R&B pop song. It feels like a Justin Timberlake would sing this song, which is very much in the vein of where I put Jimin's voice when I think about it. Like in that Justin Timberlake pop, but like pop R&B space that he could like really take over. I almost didn't put this album on there because again, it's very short. I tried not to do EPs on this list because we're not doing EPs, but it's very hard, okay? So this it's like, I think there's like 8 tracks or 6 tracks on this thing, but like, it was so good and it was such a redemption arc and such a beautiful moment that I had to put Muse by Jimin on the list. Next up is The Year I Turned 21 by Ira Star.
What it feels to be more than 21. I've never known, I've never tried, never loved. Forgive if I don't say it right, don't say enough. Real shit, I'm just 21.
Ira has always been and will always be one of my favorite Afrobeats artists. I stand firm on saying that she was robbed by Tyla for the Grammy. Like, for the Grammy in Afrobeats, she was absolutely robbed. And like, I feel bad because I'm sure Tyler is a good girl. She's a sweet girl. I don't know her, but I'm sure she is in some way or form. And maybe that's my like just Nigerian bias running through me, but like I just think that Ira's music is so much more better and so much more like better, just better in general. But also, again, I grew up with like music like by Ira. Like I grew up with Afrobeats. I didn't grow up with Amapiano like Tyler has. I did want to mention 2 songs because the other thing that made Ira Starr's album better than Tyler was the features. Baby, the features go off. And the feature that really had me shook to my core was Last Heartbreak Song with her and Giveon. Because if you know Giveon, you know Heartbreak Anniversary. So Last Heartbreak Song, I was already on the edge of my seat thinking about that one, bitch.
I'll be better on my own. I'll be better on my own. Nah. Nobody should call my phone. Nobody should call my phone. Nah. This is my last heartbreak song. This is my last heartbreak song.
She's just had a really great year, I think. She's really been low-key, but like also touring and amazing. So I really do love seeing that for her. Another song that I absolutely adore because of the vocal flexibility that she showcases is Bird Sing of Money. It opens the album and it immediately sets a vibe and a tone that is so interesting. Again, she shows off her like categoric range, but it all still feels cohesive to the album.
Tonight it be ladies' night. I know one know your zodiac sign. Pisces, Leo, Gemini. All of us find the way that we are. My grace not from Jehovah. Now why we dey ball like a gawa? Everything nice when you dey my corner. Anything other. Woman commando.
And I really appreciate that for her. Next up is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii.
Bullshit me, she freaky, kinda league, Dalai Lama, Doechii. Cooler than a fan, but she get hotter than a sauna. Take a trip out to Japan and I tsunami her vagina. Wine it down, Benihana. I'm the new HipHop Madonna. I'm the new HipHop Madonna. I'm the trap Great Stones. I don't know what type of motherfucking crap they own.
She's amazing. I think everyone has long deemed her like the female Kendrick, but I don't think there's a fair assessment of her. But if she likes it, then I love it. You know what I mean? But I think that she has a grit and a realness to her that absolutely Kendrick has. But I think that there's also a cheekiness in her that is, like, Kendrick also has, but like that is so uniquely her that is so interesting. Because there's like, oh, I could be a bad bitch, but hers is like, I am just a bitch. I don't care if you think I'm a bad bitch or not, I am that bitch. That's the vibe that she gives. And she raps like she's about to devour every fucking track.
I think what I'm trying to say is that more so than just a rapper, she feels like a true MC. Something like MC Lyte or Queen Latifah. Someone who's supposed to command a turntable and a room full of people. I think the fact that she plays over so many different beats adds to her versatility and makes her feel more so like an MC.
I mean, fuck, I like pills, I like drugs, I like getting money, I like strippers, I like to fuck, I like day drinking and day parties in Hollywood, I like doing Hollywood shit, snorted probably would. What can I say? The shit works, it feels good, and my self-worth's at an all-time low. Hope I'm coming off chill, hope I'm keeping it real, hope that people feel safe when they enter my crib. Still a baby by day, bad bitch by night, still applying my gloss from red to green light. Little bitch, hoorah! Step up in this bitch, I look too fly. Cop the tea, your shit on Ventura. Took a midnight swim in my Jula. These hating bitches clog my medulla.
You ain't gotta piss on my team just to get a slice of my cheese. You ain't gotta do what I say just to understand what I mean.
Let me breathe. Why they want me, y'all R.I.P. I've been wrestling with my peace and that's the irony. I'm a dying sunflower leaving a trail of seeds in the 813. This my legacy.
It's a sunny day. The gang's all here.
It reminds me of that TV show that used to be on Netflix, The Get Down, where you would see characters like Shaolin Fantastic over a table going off as you had Rah-Rah, Books, and the rest of them, you know, rapping over a beat. Literally any beat.
Books, I be the working library for my whole way here, and y'all hear me? We had to break the lines, we fought our way up to the top.
A song that I loved is, again, I'm a big sucker for an opening track because I think that sets the vibe of the whole album. And she had Stinkapoo, which I fucking love.
I swallow my pride before I choke on my greed. Show you my cards before I gamble my seed. Fuck are we talking about? What's the discussion? Sharing memes with the chairman over some English muffins. I'm just shooting the shit over some pretty production, and it's still not enough for something. Needs more something. Who's that creeping through my rear view? 30-something.
But also her rapping, the way she approached the track. In under 2 minutes, she devoured and left no crumbs. The other song that I really love is Fireflies because it shows more of a range of an R&B feel of like a more interesting melodic rap. Like she doesn't need to be so aggressive on every track.
Let's get the fucking kissing, let's get the munching, holding, gripping. Instead of that nigga ain't worth the mention. Let's get the biting, soaking, sipping. My body do things for you that I never seen her do. I open my spleen for you, and I can do shit that you wouldn't believe. I'ma surrender my body to please you. Keep the light till it's over. Underground over time. Keep the light till it's closer.
I mean, fuck it, she can be, but she's showing you I'm a bitch with range, and I kind of really love and appreciate that. I think she's gonna have an amazing year next year. I think that it's gonna be like the Chapel effect, where it's like you're really popping off at the end of this year, and that's gonna carry over to 2025, and it's gonna carry hard. Like, and I'm really excited for what happens for her. Yeah, all her songs were pretty short. I will say that's the only thing about the album that I did like. It was a shorter album, I will say that. Like, not in track numbers, but in like general length. I think it's only like an hour or something.
No. Consult the book of Dochi.
But we ain't got time to stop. The charts need us. And they do.
Next up, we have All Access Areas by Flo. Take your Empire Music accusations somewhere fucking else, because first of all, don't act like the first season of Empire didn't slap. Like, we weren't all singing drip, drop, drip, drip, drop. Second of all, don't act like Star didn't have the best music in the industry at the time.
They don't understand that I don't need no man, that I don't need no man. You make me feel good, let that be understood. Do me like you know you should. No, I don't need no man. I got a real job, I got my own pride, and I protect my heart. No, I don't need no man.
We wasn't raised right.
What are you saying? So what are you're saying? Oh, it's Empire Music. Oh, it sounds like really good music with like less than like stellar lyrics. Whoopsie, my bad. There's a YouTuber who talks about this a little bit more.
And in defense of Flo, someone had also said that it feels like y'all are complaining about this fun mid-tempo music, calling it Empire and Star. It seems like y'all are banning the girls from having fun. You know, we say all the time that pop girls, like, we want the pop girls to have fun. But when we come to R&B, when the girls try to speed it up a little bit, y'all are upset. It sounds trivial, it sounds young, it sounds immature, it sounds like star music. I think when you're rooted in R&B versus pop, I think there's a level of unseriousness that is expected with pop music versus with R&B. I think there's an expectation, like, you're so, even if you give us a mid-tempo, up-tempo, you should still be giving me vocals. I want harmonies. Yes, it could be kind of cute, but I still want like a story. I want lyrics. So I understand that that could be where people are coming from, but I will say it's interesting how some people could give grace to that song, but then you hear In My Bag and it's like, absolutely the fuck not. Star music, Empire music, you're done. It's sad because to me, like, Flo's album was actually amazing. It was an amazing debut.
And yes, while some of the songs are not my favorite, I will say that this is one of the this album almost didn't make the list, but because of Nocturnal, honestly, it really made the list. There are some songs that I'm like, that's not necessarily the best song, but there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing like repetitive or bad about it, which is like, that I think that was the biggest sin of this year. A lot of people were doing repetitive shit that I didn't like, but they didn't have that. They had like a nice little R&B girl range. They had fun with it. Like, there was a wave of R&B artists that like came through, and it was all like kind of these artists that sing sad girl music. So you have your Summer Walkers, your SZAs, your Kailanis, your, you know, your Caliuchis. Like, these are girls who are singing sad shit about sad things, but also are like bad bitches and are like more melodic. And I think Flo is bringing like the fun girl group energy. And also opening your album with Cynthia Erivo, who is our Elphaba, is crazy. It's like a crazy flex.
A movement began. Our girls found each other and meticulously prepared a feast for our ears.
How Does It Feel? I feel like is another track that really encapsulates the entire album. It really gives a good feel and vibe off of it.
But you better play your position, don't let it slip. Let it unfold. Need loyalty, cause I'm royalty with a script. Treat it like oh, you know with me, you got your hands full. So tell me, is that something you can handle? Yeah.
And it really sets the tone for the rest of the thing. Like, it gives a very taste of what the range is and what their range could be in the future, and I really do like and appreciate that. Like, bring back girl groups.
Nobody, let me sing it again. I don't want nobody, I don't want nobody, yeah.
Like, other than K-pop, bring back girl groups. We all long for the time of Destiny's Child. So do not get mad now that we have one. The last time this happened, when we all longed for a good girl group and we got Little Mix, we didn't appreciate them the way we should have. So let's not make that mistake again, ladies and gentlemen, because if I have to say goodbye to another girl group, I will fight all of you.
What's done in the dark got me catching feelings.
Next up is a classic. This album is a legal classic. It's going to be a legal classic. It's The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem.
Now I don't gotta play pretend, it's you I make believe. And you know I make mistakes me. If I was to ever take a lead, it would be a sprint to break a feed. If I was to ask for making me, Stallion if she would collab with me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You can't tell me nothing about Eminem. Like, I remember growing up watching 8 Mile and being like, he is the truth. Like, if you didn't grow up singing Toy Soldiers,
there's a certain line you just don't cross, and he crossed it. I heard him say Haley's name on the song and I just lost it. It was crazy. This went way beyond some Jay-Z and Nas. And even though the battle was won, I feel like we lost it. I spent so much energy on it. Honestly, I'm exhausted.
There was something wrong with you. You were the issue, man. If you couldn't rap Lose Your Breath, there was something wrong with you. You shouldn't have been allowed on the playground, honestly. So Eminem coming back, reviving the death of an iconic character that he has played is hilarious. Houdini was a scathing review of the hip-hop industry. I think that's what a lot of the hip-hop albums and rap albums that I have on the list is, that they feel like a little bit more of a scathing review of like the culture in itself, because there was a culture shift that felt very disingenuous. And I think now people in hip-hop are like, no, you let this shit slide, and now we got all these people who are doing nonsense. He didn't just leave out a P, did he? Like, oops.
Do not test like an essay, cause like where my homies out west day, we can just say I'm like an R-A-P-E-R, got so many essays. Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep, R.P. rest in peace, Biggie and Pac, both of y'all should be living. Yep, but I ain't trying to beef with him, cause he might put a hit on me like KVD, get him.
But even so, with the scathing review, he still takes time to reflect on himself and his life, and really gives us a beautiful nugget in Temporary. I cry to Temporary often.
I promise you'll get through him and make it regardless. Fuck it, Jade, I'll be honest, I knew that you was gonna take this the hardest. Sweetie, get up, I know that this is breaking your heart. It's the hardest thing I've ever wrote. Haley, sweetheart, it's okay for you to let me go. Baby, I promise you that when
the heart breaks, it ain't broken forever. The pieces will grow back together, and in time, I'll be fine. The tears are temporary.
Like, I'll sit in the tub and I'll just play play it on the repeat and I'll cry. I'll cry like a bitch. Because that song is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's effervescent. It's a love letter to his daughter Haley, who, if you don't know, she's gotten married and I think he's a grandpa now. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a daddy's girl. More so than Haley and his relationship with her, that's something that we've seen developed since we were young. Since she was on a track asking if Ja Rule was bigger than her. And Eminem told her that no, they're about the same size.
Daddy, is Ja Rule taller than me?
No, honey, you guys are the same size.
Like, we've seen this character of Haley, like, not the girl, because we don't know her personally, but we see the character of Eminem's daughter Haley grow throughout the years. It's Slim Shady saying goodbye to her from Beyond the Grave, and it really, like, blurs the lines of, like, the character. Like, rap is so big on characters, so it's, like, the difference between Slim Shady and Eminem, the difference between Tina Snow and Meg Thee Stallion, the difference between Nicki Minaj, Nicki the Ninja, Nicki the Harajuku Barbie, Nicki the whole list goes on. The difference between even Beyonce and her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. Like, it's so ingrained in hip-hop that, like, saying goodbye to that character is kind of crazy, especially in the way that he did it in Temporary.
And I'll probably get shit for that, but you can all suck my dick. In fact, fuck them, fuck Dre, fuck Jimmy, fuck me, fuck you. Fuck my own kids, they're brats.
Smell that? Hood rat.
The next up album is Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. Now, I'll say, I got into this album way later than everyone. I think she dropped it in, like, spring or whatever. I was busy. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. So I was busy. But Wildflower did pique my attention.
But I see her in the back of my mind all the time.
I think the power pop girls came into play. I kind of paid more attention to Billie because it was the Billie Eilish versus Charlie XCX argument. For those of you who have not watched my video on Sabrina Carpenter and that short and sweet tour, basically the Power Pop Girls is like, there was a debate on who the Powerpuff / Power Pop Girls were. Everyone kind of agrees that Sabrina is in fact Bubbles. Blossom belongs to Chapel. No one's disputing that ever. And then the big question was, is it Charlie or is it Billie? Because both of them are having big summers, but Billie has more of the buttercup aesthetic to her. Eventually they were like, just use guess.
Charlie likes boys, but she knows I'd hit it.
And then once that happened, I started to pay more attention to her album. Wildflower was a fantastic example of what kind of power and range she has in her voice. It reminded me of Where Does It Hurt? Or what is it?
I don't know how to feel, but I wanna try.
It reminded me of that, and then also Chicharro. Don't know how to pronounce that song at all, but it is so good. It is so good. There's a little bit of crack in it. That's just what it is. And again, there are other songs that really elevate the whole thing, but really it showcases Billie's ability to tell a cohesive story, which is, again, one of the things that I love most in music and albums.
What's your favorite lyrics from the album?
Some of the bars in Skinny got me.
I was just talking about myself, talking about like who I used to be, and Phineas just was like,
but the old me is still me, and maybe the real me, and I think she's pretty.
And I was like, I do think she's pretty.
Next up, we have Gothic Summer by the Veronicas.
There's no point in your pretty lies, so drop designer, start a riot, perfect's going out of style.
You didn't think we'd get here, did you? Listen, I know I said no EPs. It is only like 5 or 6 songs, so that means it shouldn't make the list, but it is so good. Much like Jimin's Muse, it was just so good. I'm a big fan of the Veronica since I was a kid. I used to watch them on the end.
Feel so untouched and I want you so much that I just can't resist you. It's not enough to say that I miss you.
Along with Tegan and Sarah and whatever Drake music video they eventually put up. Like, I think that was like my era of like edgy girl. So seeing the Veronicas come back and make a new album was very happying for me. Happying is crazy, is a crazy thing to say. Regardless, the 2 songs that I think really put me over the edge on putting this on this list was Jungle.
Oh, no, no one cares. Life ain't always fair. It's a jungle out
there. Jungle was a fun song. It was a little bit funner. It was a little bit more like classic Veronicas. But Invisible, that shit hit me here.
Can anyone else hear me? Can anyone else hear me? 'Cause I've been screaming, I've been sleeping. Can anyone else hear me? Can anyone else hear me?
Wherever my heart is, wherever it is, that shit hit me. It hit me and it hit me hard like a ton of bricks. I don't know why, I don't know where, I don't know how, but Invisible really like catapulted this album to being on this list. Like, it was an amazing album, don't get me wrong, but Invisible pushed it way over the edge. So freaking good. Next up, we have another hip hop album, the hip hop rap R&B-ish album. I say rap R&B because Childish really does like whatever he feels like. That is Bando, Stone in the New World by Childish Gambino.
Let me out of here. I've been gone so long. Don't you know that this is the moment you're watching us throw it away?
Childish Gambino made a comeback, which is one of the things that made music truly phenomenal this year. Like, a lot of resurgence for a lot of comebacks for a lot of icons, honestly. If Frank Ocean would have put out an album this year, it would be over. Then it would be like, this is it. This is the year where you should have came back, and if you didn't come back, stay home. If Frank Ocean had put out an album. But because he didn't, it's fine. But Childish Gambino put out an album. He's going on tour, or he was on tour. I don't know. He's amazing. He's beautiful. The album was so fun and funny. It was very funky. It had fresh sounds to it. It had interesting lyricism, obviously, but it's one of the albums that also had interesting production. Like, the entire production of the album is actually so smart and clever in the way that it's made. He has a lot of interesting songs. One of my favorites is Survive featuring Chloe.
I'm a soldier. When I die, say I did it for the culture. Try and live below your means, that's a pro tip. Cause them dreams pay a nigga like a slow trip. With my son watching Bluey like we both crip. They be scared to try saying that they underground. Made him hunger down, saying he a prepper now.
Listen, I'm not one to sit down and break and analyze bars, but like, I feel like people really don't get how good this album is. The lyrics itself, if I die, say I do it for the culture, which is like what really this whole year has been about between Kendrick, Childish, Snoop, Eminem, Tyler, Doechii, Dre, Glorilla, and everyone has been putting on this year. But these bars are still there, even with this R&B feel.
It is lovely. It's beautiful. I love the R&B-ness of it, the whole of it all. My favorite absolute song is A Place Where Love Goes.
If you see me spinning, I'm alright. I've been chasing, living my whole life. It is coming, feel it in the night. Every day you know I had to fight. Different images swimming in my head. Different women sleeping in my bed. I'ma get to sleeping when I'm dead. Best believe it, every word I said.
It's the last song of the album. It's simply fantastic. It is Childish going on and being the height of his childishness. Not being childish, but this persona of Childish Gambino. again, another persona versus person. But Childish Gambino really kind of lives and embodies this. It kind of like encapsulates his entire career in a simple song and in a way that just feels genuine and beautiful and actually kind of moved me. It was definitely one of the best songs of the year. Next up, we have another K-pop album. Gold by ITZY is the one I've put on this list. If you're into K-pop, you know the unmitigated disaster that happened with ITZY. They came out the gate swinging with Wannabe and Not Shy, and like they were the it girls of the 4th gen. They were it, baby. But then the accusations for Leah not being an amazing dancer and all this other stuff kind of derailed them. Then they released Cake. I know they released something before Cake, or was it just Cake? I don't remember. They released something and it was bad. It wasn't as bad as we remember in hindsight, but it was like, because ITZY had never produced anything but bops and then they produced that, it was confusing. Then Leah went on hiatus. They did Untouchable, which was like, and Mr. Vampire, which was like okay and interesting. It was like getting back to where we are, but it wasn't the slam dunk we needed, and especially felt a little hollow because Leah wasn't there. There's a creator named Zevi, I don't know, Xevi. He's very funny. Highly recommend you go watch him. But he always says this thing when he's talking about music.
Let me let you in on a secret. The way for an artist to get away with anything is to keep making good music. The moment they stop making good music, those allegations start rising again, aka Drake.
That once an artist falls off, they go down to a second tier and they have the ability, they can make their way back with an amazing album. They can make their way back, or with bad music, it'll just bury their career. He always uses the example of Kanye West with Taylor Swift. When Kanye West was doing I don't think, let me finish, but I think Beyonce had the best album of all time. When Kanye West was doing that, he fell down. When he was Kanye, he was college dropout. Then he fell here. And we were like, that left a bad taste in our mouth. I think Obama even said he was disgusting. It was crazy. Then he released My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which was an unmitigated classic. Still one of the best things he could have ever done. And he was Kanye again. With that being said, I use that example to say ITZY. Like, they gave us Cake, and we were here. They gave us Untouchable, Mr. Vampire, we were still shaky. We were like, it's better than Cake, but it's not good enough to get you back up here. Gold was the album to get them back up here. Not only do I love it because it is cohesive, beautiful, has some of the strongest tracks, really has a personality to it, had a flow to it, but it also has refinished versions of this album that they did before without Leah. If you were a person who loved Mr. Vampire, which I love Mr. Vampire, now you have Untouchable and Mr. Vampire with Leah in it. Brings this whole beautiful synergy to it and is made as a point with the song 5. Like, it's literally have a song like, we're 5, bitch, 5. We're all back. You know what I mean? There were beautiful songs on that album that really showcased them as a group, like Supernatural. Fantastic instrumentation, fantastic production throughout the entire thing, and really was cohesive with the entire vibe of the album. But then there's also another song that is up for best song of the year. If not best song, definitely best music video. And that is Imaginary Friend by ITZY. I love this song so much. I also made another edit to it. I made a K-pop edit to it where I just made an edit for idols. Because I was just so happy with the song. It is so beautiful. The dance that it has to it, the heaviness of the music video, the floatiness of the song itself, the production, the vocals, everything about that song is the embodiment of a K-pop idol. Like, it tells you the definition of what a K-pop idol is, which is just an imaginary friend. It is a person that is there for you, but it's not actually a real person, because whatever idol vision you have of an idol, that's not a real person. That's a persona that they put on. Like, of any famous person. It's a persona that they put on to comfort you as a fan. And it's one of my favorite songs of the year as well. Like, yes, Thought I Was Dead was definitely the song of the year, but Imaginary Friend by ITZY definitely is going to show up on my rotation for next year as well. I'm gonna keep playing that shit till the wheels fall off, because I love that song so much. Number 13 is actually multiple albums. And I know, Yemi, you're like,
yeah, but you always cheat. You do multiple for what?
Well, it's my channel. If you don't like it, get your own channel. And this title is called Self-Named Albums. That's what 13 is self-named albums. And by that, I have 3 albums that I'm directly referencing. We have Leon by Leon Bridges.
Baby, something down tempo, Tokyo and Rocksteady. Body hidden like Kimbo, follow for you like confetti.
Tori by Tori Kelly.
Was raining purple skies in my room, me and you. Ooh, I'm missing you.
And Rosie by Rose. All 3 of these albums are literally by the best singers that you could ever imagine. The best songstress in either of their genres. Tori is much more heavy R&B, but her entire album really showcases her range. She has gospel with Kirk Franklin on it.
If I can make it through the night, whatever comes, hell or high water, I know it's on the other side.
Her whole album really showed off her range. She showed off that she's not just a beautiful singer, but she can sing in any category. Rose really showed her lyricism. She showed her ass that you bitches didn't think she had it in her, okay? Everyone was so ready for Jennie to take over the year, and Rose stepped on her shit. If I was Jennie, I'd kind of beat her ass, if I'm not gonna play with you. Like, it felt like they had a schedule. Like, they were like, okay, Lisa's gonna go first, then Jennie, then Rosie, then Jisoo. Like, that's how we'll do it. Da-da-da-da-da. Lisa went first. She dominated with New Woman and Rockstar. Like, really took off with that. Jennie came, dropped little teasers, dropped Mantra, was having her moment. And the second her moment was about to, like, really pop off, literally Rosie dropped Apata, which is the biggest song of the year.
With all fairness, this Ruby drop that she just did is dog walking Jisoo's buzz.
In the dark I grew.
So I guess she's also doing it, so it's fine. Especially looking at her features list, like, that's crazy. Now, if I was Jisoo, I would beat both of their asses.
The song came out like 2 months ago, and it has over 1 billion views on YouTube. It's so catchy, it's so cute, it's so beautiful. But then the rest of the album really tells a story of her voice and her energy. And it really, there's one song, I can't think of the name of the song, but I'll put it here.
Feeling so good at a back party. We don't have to talk. I know what you want me. Gotta keep it nice. We cannot be naughty. We could get drinks or we could get coffee. Feeling so good.
Really gets me every time, and was like, I have to put this album on here, because not only is Apata the biggest song of the year, but the other songs on the album really feed into this beautiful narrative and showcase her writing ability, her storytelling, and in a inventive and beautiful way. It feels very raw and authentic.
It's late at night. Is it lonely? Do anything to make you want me? Give it all up if you told me that I'd be the number one girl in your eyes.
similar to Tori's, and similar to Leon's, which is I think the kind of the running theme of these like self-titled albums is you just being more raw and authentic with yourself in general. Leon also had a self-titled album. Leon Bridges knows, like, listen, Beyond by Leon Bridges is going to be my wedding song. The man's voice can do no wrong, absolutely. He could sing The Phone Book and I would put it on this list because he is one of my favorite voices in music.
Oh, I was on the inside, I felt alone, I felt so alone.
He could not be telling a story, but be singing The Phone Book, but it would still feel like the highs and lows of high school.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
Next up, we have for number 14 is The Great Impersonator by Halsey.
Hope they spell my name right in the paper. In here lies the great impersonator.
This album also almost didn't make the list. And I'm gonna tell you why it did. Because I love seeing her growth. I love her relationship with Avanjogia. But more so, I love the exploration of who she is and her genres and what that means for her. She's always had a heavy sound, but this was really the resurgence and the reintroduction of the Tumblr princess we all fell in love with when she was writing Colors and New Americana.
His husband at the altar, survival of the richest. The city's ours until the fall. They're Monaco and Hamptons bound. We don't feel like outsiders. 'Cause we are the new Americana. Always reassembled to fit perfectly for you or anybody that decides that I'm of use. Only is the muse.
It kind of feels back in that vein. She strayed from it a little bit because her vocals can really do anything. And then she like kind of had a pop lane when she was doing BTS stuff. Like she's moved around the chessboard a lot, but this one finally feels like she's coming home to a sound that feels like she propelled her into the media as it was.
Halsey responded on Twitter, and I actually think her response is hilarious. Thank you, Pitchfork, for your kind words. I think it's so beautiful that everyone interprets things differently. And she says, Halsey's latest act wows Pitchfork reviewer. And she just picked out all the parts where it was positive. They're a great curator, a brilliant singles artist. I actually genuinely think that this is a genius response because she has taken their review out of context to make it something it's not. And so this is like a 4D chess way of acknowledging that that's what the original review is doing.
Ego is so interesting and it's such a fun like breakdown.
Doing way worse than I'm admitting. 'Cause they fight on my ego like kill me. I'm all grown up but somehow lately I'm acting like a fucking baby. Really not as happy as I seem.
Outside of Ego, my absolute favorite song is I Believe in Magic. It is so beautiful. It's like a testament to like how she's moved and grown as a human. Like she talks about how she didn't believe in love until she saw her baby. Like it's very lovely and it grows and it blooms and it's like a flower from your chest. I love it.
I believe in magic and I believe in sin. I still believe in heaven if they'll never let me in. I started to believe in love the day I met my little twin. I think I might start trying because I haven't been.
The album again is very raw, and that's kind of the reason why I put it on this list. It's very different from everything on this list. It's very raw, uncut, unfiltered. It's almost not my style, but the lyricism and the appreciation for her growth was just too hard that I couldn't put it on this list. Number 15, we're at the last one. And if you're not stupid, you know what that is. It's GNX by Kendrick Lamar.
Nigga couldn't try me in a tri-state. Buddy pass, bet I give him splash till he hydrated. Bounce out, know he spook town, eyes dilated. I got the money and the power, both gyrating. I feel good, get the fuck out my thighs. Look good, but she don't got no ties.
Duh, big head. Now, I had several other albums in contender. I've been making this list since November, the beginning of November. I've had several other albums in this place, like in this place of 15 best album. Obviously, Tyler, the Creator was number 15 for a while, but I still had an extra space. Like there's several albums. But then Kendrick was like, as always, I got something for your ass. I feel like really he had a plan to put this album out. Obviously, he was going to put it out before the Super Bowl. But I feel like he had a plan to put this album out maybe a little bit earlier. Then he saw Tyler's album go out. Maybe they chatted, talked about it. He was like, and it says like a similar message of like, West Coast is up. Y'all niggas is not like us. The West Coast really, really, really is up, y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, me as an East Coast girl who lives in New York, I'm just like, we're losing. We're losing. Because, like, right now, what do we have? Jay-Z and Diddy are being accused of being sexual assaulters, and the West Coast has Tyler and Kendrick beating our asses into the ground.
You're Mr. Morale, the big steppers.
Take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white loss.
I promoted Kendrick's album more than he did, but that brings me joy. It's really I, Future, all them other whacked out, the biggest out the city after Kenny. That's a fact now.
And the Grammy goes to Kendrick Lamar.
That's special to me. All we ever wanted was to be the biggest underground artist of all time, and I finally found imperfection with this album, so I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Like, even K-pop is taking inspiration from West Coast sounds. ATEEZ's entire Golden Hours is like an exploration of the West Coast sound, whether that be like the Latin beats.
Work was a bit more of the LA West Coast scene, a little bit of a cowboy angle that they were going for.
People are like noticing the West Coast, and they're like, yeah, I think that's where hip hop lives now. That kind of hurts my soul as an East Coast girly.
I'm actually from the East Coast. Is anybody else from the East Coast? Make some noise for our East Coast girlies.
Step our cookies up. Cardi B, where are you? Make us an album so that we feel better. Because the South and the West are coming from us. And I'm not talking about Southwest Airlines. That being said, we can't pretend that GNX wasn't a masterpiece and a masterclass on how to analyze and dissect not only your enemy, but an entire industry. And really, it was like, he said he was the boogeyman, and we knew he was the boogeyman, but he really was like, you're the boogeyman, and I'm currently actually sitting in your brain like Jason Voorhees, and I'm waiting to create a nightmare that will shake you to your core. And there's something demented about that child. I wouldn't fuck with Kendrick Lamar ever, like on a categoric, philosophic, spiritual level. I don't want that smoke, but like legitimately, I don't want that smoke, because he's what happens when a theater kid is not allowed to do theater.
Fuck your job. Today gon' be the day you walk to that bitch.
Give me my fucking keys.
Nope, I like you parked in that bitch, ho.
Give me my keys, bro.
Oh God, you ain't getting these keys.
Give me my fucking keys.
Ah, now you mad at me. I got you hollering for nothing. My nigga. Mother. ¿Qué la que? It's a nice jacket you got on, papi. Cowhide leather, right? You know the neocortex is a phenomenon that supports the 5 senses of the brain?
Again, y'all are not going to tell me that Kendrick Lamar is not being pure theater right now. Say Drake. I hear you like him young. Say Drake. I hear you like him young.
Which is just let them be unhinged. Like, he's what happens when you did it. Someone should have put him in a tap dance class, and it would have saved everyone, especially Drake, a lot of heartbreak.
The Drake drop, right? And it's in the air. This before it dropped. This is when he being boogeyman at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Absol called me, nigga. It's like 5:30 in the morning. It's a FaceTime call. I ignored the first one. I'm like, nigga, I ain't about to talk to Soul. I'm laying down, nigga. It's over. Nigga. He called again. I'm like, oh, it must be important. I pick up. It was Dot, bro. Nigga just looking at the camera. Bro, look, I swear to God, bro. The nigga was just looking at the camera and hung up.
He just needed that energy. He was chattering his inner daylight.
That's fucking psycho,
I just need
bro.
to see your face right now.
God.
Boogeyman
The
for
smirk
real,
that the
dog.
nigga had on his face was the most. The last time I seen that was when I was doing the shenanigans. It was evil. It was evil, dog. I said, oh, he willing to go to no return with this shit, bro.
Obviously, Whacked Out Murals opened up the album and set the tone for how this album was going to make you feel and how bone-chilling it was.
Yeah, nigga, going up your rank. Know you a god even when they say you ain't. Yeah, nigga, keep your feelings out the way. Never let no one put smut up on your name. Yeah, nigga, keep your head down and work like I do. But understand, everybody ain't go like you. Yeah, nigga, if they say it's love, you been lied to.
I think that this album is less of the Big Steppers album and more of like the commercial success of like Damn, like kind of a vibe. But it's still not so commercial that it has no soul to it. It has complete soul, but it also is very fun, fresh, but also gives you the examination of hip hop and the dissecting of different singers, rappers, industries within itself. On top of it, TV Off again is like another one of those mind fucks. And again, it's been Kendrick's year. He's created the memes that will last a fucking lifetime. Is it the braids? A minor. We are saying the things that Kendrick is saying because it's hilarious. I always say this about like K-pop or like any kind of rap, is that I love when people know where they're from. Like, putting on for your city is one of the most hip-hop things you can do. It just is showcasing that you understand what the culture is. 50 Cent signed with Dre and them, with Eminem, who was under Dre and them, who was a West Coast nigga, but he is never not on the King of New York. Like, he's never not on some New York shit. You know what I mean? He knows where he's from regardless. Kendrick Lamar cares about where he's from. Tyler Creator, they care about where they're like, this is where I am, this is where I go, this is who I am. Even in K-pop, every time I listen to My City by BTS, I'm like, yeah. Welcome to my city! Some days should be rapping and I'm like, I need you to stop. Like, literally, I think he says in the song, he's like, people are always like, when are you gonna stop mentioning Daegu in every song? He's like, never, bitch. And I'm like, that's hip hop. That's, know where you're from. Kendrick really just being the West Coast. Everything he does is just so much about the culture. That's just the truth. And GNX really kind of showcased that in the most beautiful, poetic way that is still palatable for the people who aren't like lyric heavy people.
They look over at me and they hand me the mic. I'm like, man, f all this shit.
I'm watching you rock like a motherfucker, right? I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna mean this. You got the torch, you better run with it.
That nigga broke down in tears, and it was beautiful because I watch him now and I see all the work he put in before and after he got the crown. He is a true king.
Man, and Kendrick is nominated for 7 Grammys, and 5 of those are Not Like Us, and the other 2 is Like That, which all 7 of them really is so-called diss records. Did you ever think that it would make it this far?
I mean, I definitely could see Kendrick winning 7 Grammys, but for it to be on a diss song, you know, that's where hip-hop started. You know, it started in the battles.
With this list, obviously, that's the end of it. If you couldn't tell, that's the 15 that we went through. With this list, there are obviously people that you probably thought were going to be on this list. Like Oscar-winning Tears by Ray.
No tissues, no string section, no tiny violin. For the last time I'm your audience, I'll take this front row seat. Baby, you can go and cry.
Which is not the album, but the song, because I do love this song so much. Didn't make the album because it came out in 2023. Chaperone, even though Good Luck Babe came out this year, and her album really popped off this year, she put it out at the end of 2023, so I can't count it technically. I do have to throw an honorary mention out to Missionary by Snoop Dogg. I couldn't do a thorough dissection of it because it came out literally like so recently.
You on my property, I'm a hot commodity, boardwalk monopoly. A nigga safe, ran out of space, I'm a odyssey. Honestly, I'm that motherfucker that you gotta see.
Don't this shit look gorgeous?
It has Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, and I've been excited for this album to drop since Dr. Dre did his Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he was talking about how he might be dropping the album.
The first album I've done with Snoop was in 1993, and it's the only album I've ever produced on Snoop, right? 30 years ago. So now, believe it or not, we're getting together again, and we're almost done with the album. The first album was called Doggy Style. So we decided to flip it and call this one Missionary.
It is an amalgamation of how cool and amazing he is. Snoop Dogg is the epitome of what like commercial success is, because he has had and will always have commercial success while never giving up his credit, his hood, his black card. Like, he's still, you would never roll up on Snoop Dogg. Like, that's just crazy, because he's still Snoop Dogg no matter how many video shoots he does with Martha Stewart. You're not that stupid, right?
No. See, that's what's not gonna happen. Y'all not finna make no motherfucking rules on me, and you was wearing diapers when I was doing this. Y'all gonna sit down somewhere and learn a new lesson. I'm finna teach y'all something, nephew. Is this when an old man got more game than y'all? You supposed to listen and get the game, because see, now when you're around your peers, you gonna have way more knowledge than them. Right. I'm gonna teach you something on how to survive. When I was young like y'all, I listened to my OGs. They gave me the game, and they gave it to me to where now I can give it to y'all. So one day when you become an OG, you'll be able to get that game up. Make sense?
Snoop Dogg really is this embodiment of how far and the longevity of a good rap career and a commercialized rap career that is still rooted in hip-hop culture.
Circus, Afro, circus, Afro, circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
I will mention the 2 albums that I will talk about right now that are the 2 best albums to me of the year that are not on this list. Basically, for this album, for this section, I took the 2 loves of my lives, or the 2 genres that I listen to the most to, which is K-pop and hip-hop, and I picked the greatest album of both for this section.
I want to be clear that this also doesn't mean it's the best technical album on the list. It's just the one that made me move the most and the one that I revisited the most in these 2 particular genres. They are my personal favorites.
For hip-hop, it's Glorious by Glorilla.
Bitch, I'm from Memphis. What you know about me? Big G-L-O-N-A-G-L-E. 50,000 new Chanel shopping spree, and every time I pop out, you know I A-T-E.
2, 3, 4. Bitch, I'm from Memphis. What you know about me? Big G-L-O-N-A-G-L-E. 50,000 new Chanel shopping spree, and every time I pop out, you know I A-T-E. Giving her face, ass, titties. Her face, ass, titties. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, listen. She dropped 2 albums this year. Both of them are good. Everybody knows Wannabe was the song of the summer for me, and they my summer playlist. Love it. But Glorious is so fucking good because the content of the album is what I wanted from Meg and Megan, and Glorilla delivered it. She had witty lines, barbs, interesting subject matter, great beats. Like, it was just an overall phenomenon. I don't like Lotto. Sue me, don't sue me, I don't care. But I don't know, after Rhythm and Flow, I just haven't been feeling her as much. Tell me Procedure is not the best song that you've ever heard.
I told that nigga I need the world, the sun, and the moon. What's the procedure when a bad bitch walk in the room? The type of bitch that make a nigga wanna jump the broom. He hit it once and got to tweaking like he on some shrooms. Bitch, I'm Big Mama, but ain't none of these niggas worth my wounds. These niggas trying to get me pregnant, I need to tie my tooth.
The chorus alone goes too fucking hard for you not to tell me that is not one of the greatest songs you've ever heard. On top of that, the viral hit of TGIF is 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga,
and no nigga ain't got me. Let's go. I'm about to show my ass. These niggas love a freak. How the fuck is that your man? If he right here with me, the fuck.
Even Rihanna couldn't help but shake ass to that. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. Niggas love a freak. When he right here with me, turned up with my niggas, turned up with my bitches.
Where my drink at? I'm too old for this shit.
Her song Don't Deserve with Money Long. Love Money Long, by the way. Like, ooh, she almost made the list. I love her so much. Her Revenge album was really good, but there's like not as much cohesion to it that made it not make the list. Besides the point, Don't Deserve is so freaking good because it's not a perspective you see a lot.
He ain't a real man. That nigga don't deserve my friend. We all been stupid for these niggas once upon a time. Them red flags be looking green, we get colorblind. But it's certain shit that you don't do and you can't cross them lines.
It's literally a perspective of a friend going,
he don't deserve you.
pick your chin up, pick your nuts up, pick your bags up, and I'm picking you up from the house. Like, that's the vibe that it gives. But the entire album overall is just so interesting, fun to play with, and fun to examine. We need to talk about the K-pop category and which album I'm putting on here. And it is, if you notice, there was no 17 on this list, and there is. Here it is. It's the K-pop album. 17's best album, 17 right here. It's also cheating, technically, because it's an anthology album. So the new songs I absolutely love. La La Lee, Cheers, Spell. Spell was that bitch.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Nothing better. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those songs were amazing. They were beautiful. They were fun. Maestro is such an interesting commentary on music today in a fun and cheeky way, which you know I love. But also, it's an anthology album, so you get to see all of their like big hits. They're on the list, especially their Korean versions, which it matters less to me because I don't speak Korean anyways. But they have Korean versions of their big hit Japanese stuff, like not big hit, but big Japanese stuff, like 24 Hours. Like they have Korean versions of that now that they can perform, which is amazing for Korea.
What's good, Korea? You know I've been on boards for my whole career.
It is a cheat code, so that's why I didn't really want to put it on the main list, but it is a cheat code because it's like all the songs like that I liked already. I think that they did it because, and again, I hate to compare 17 to BTS. You know I do, but I compare everything to everything in my mind. So I think it's like they took a playbook out of the BTS catalog of like, right before everyone goes to war, we're dropping an anthology album. And I think it's actually very smart because it gives the people something to listen to while you're away as a group that has everything you've ever wanted on it. It has all the big hits, it has all the stuff, the Japanese hits, it has new stuff. So it's like, it's a nice way to say farewell within a nice little anthology album. Now, we're going to talk about the stuff that didn't make the list, but almost did very quickly, and then we will talk about what I'm excited for 2025. The first one is Megan and Megan Act 2. I think that the singles were great for both of these albums. Megan Act 2 is just a longer version of Megan. The singles had more power than the rest of the songs.
Can't touch me like Gojo. Look good at all my photos. Just landed in Kyoto. I'm more wild, these bitches local. Arigato. Arigato. Can't touch me like Gojo. Look good at all my can't touch me like Gojo. Look good at all my photos.
They're like taking analytics from YouTube or something. Like you gotta hook the audience in the first 10 seconds. So a lot of the times hip hop songs now recently will play the hook first. Like for instance, like I mentioned in the song Procedure, it starts with the hook. It just feels more repetitive because she still puts the same amount of hooks in the rest of the song. I don't know, something about the album in total make it feel really repetitive, which sucks because all the beats went crazy. I mean, I understand because again, the singles were everything. Never Play, great. Mashushi, both featuring the Japanese artist and Twice. Beautiful, great. Like Hiss, fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? The whole album as a whole felt very disconjointed, I want to say. 2 albums by BTS members, Right People, Wrong Place, and Hope on the Street Volume 1 were both put out this year. Both of them were stunning albums, stunning art pieces, but I feel like they both made me feel dumb. And that's on me. That's not saying that the albums are not great. I just felt stupid. Me? I felt real dumb in the head when I was listening to those albums because I was like, they're both exploring something that I don't know. Love and dance. Like
freaky, you freaking me. Begging you, baby, please. 평생 같은 개소리. Love is for the freaks here. Every time I look, every time I love, every time I hope, it's always for us.
They're both exploring the relationship between something that is so important with you and how that breaks down. Like Hobie with his relationship with dance, how important that is, where it starts from a street dancing background, Neuron. And Namjoon is exploring the strangeness of a relationship that has gone sour and how those pieces examine each other. And that's all very beautiful and dandy. I'm just too stupid to know what they're talking about sometimes.
Kim Namjoon from BTS. He's been the love of my life since I was 18 years old and he was pretending to be black. He's the rapper and the lead of BTS. He apologized. He's the rapper and the lead of BTS, and he's just my man. He's a Virgo, but he's my man. And you know, anytime, any place, disrespect me, throw me in the garbage, I'm down bad. He go to jail, I'm paying for it. Like, he wanna cheat on me, I don't care, that's my man. No self-respect. Yes. Don't be like me. Let's just say I would go on my knees like a prayer. Hallelujah. On site.
It was more so a me problem than a them problem, but this is my list, so who cares? Another one, amazing album, but it wasn't my style of music, is Found Heaven by Conan Gray.
But our story wasn't stopping, and it goes on and on and on, like a never-ending song.
He was so much giving me David Bowie vibes, Stardust, Ziggy Stardust vibe. Like, I love the entire eclecticness, the artistry that went into the entire album. It was fantastically produced and sonically amazing. It's just not my, like, I don't listen to David Bowie, so it's just not my, like, cup of tea, but I can appreciate the artistry that went into it. And Never Ending Song is a song that will go down in history. It is a fantastic song. Room Under the Stairs was another one by Zayn. It's mostly because it shocked me with how raw and un-R&B it was. Like, yes, there were some like more R&B vocals and stuff, but it felt more acoustic and more raw.
Tried to disconnect my body from my soul. See, I feel alright already on my own. Can you let me be intoxicated?
Both Sincere by Khalid and Mutt by Leon Thomas III were contenders for this list.
If you give me the chance, then I'll hold your hand and make you a promise. We'll share romance like it's only us two. It's more than you, more than you tonight. Baby, she said take your time, what's the rush? I said baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mind, I'm a dog, I'm a mind. New crib told her come through, it's time to break it in.
I will say Mutt by Leon Thomas, more so than Sincere. Mutt was on the list, and then G and X happened, and I couldn't help but kick it off. But Mutt, so good. Leon Thomas, so good. I didn't put Zayn on the list because I had no clue what was going on. I didn't put Khalid on the list because it was exactly what I thought he was going to produce. Intermission by Maren Morris.
I've got clear skin from all the sleep, clear mind from therapy, yoga 4 days a week. How does she do it?
Samurai by Lupe Fiasco.
In the Acropolis, scary how I'm optimistically obstinate. Ain't no domino in my dominance when I'm dropping this. Janis Joplin droplets. It sound like the apocalypse mixed with Christopher Wallace's topics on top of obelisks. It's a Kabbalist novelist inside of my esophagus. Rhyme is priming is optimist, and this shit tastes like chocolate cake.
And Unheard by Hosier.
I'd rather take my whiskey.
All three of those albums were actual perfection, track for track. I think that they're some of the most beautiful and perfect albums of this year. They're just all far too short. Like, Jimin's Muse was also short, but it still felt like a whole story. I feel like when those three albums ended, I felt like, oh, I wanted more. Wait, where were we? This was really good, but give me more. What do you mean? Lupe coming back is always beautiful for me, personally. But Maren Morris and Hosier are just wits with their words and also fantastic as singers, and I think they've actually performed together. Ultra 85 by Logic almost made the list.
Teleport. Daddy looked me in my face and said he had no son. I'm 12 years old, but maybe 11, and I've been abandoned by everyone. Teleport. Shot my homie's gun. Teleport. Get kicked out of school. Teleport. Now I'm on the run. Teleport. Watch me act a fool. Teleport.
I love the switch up. I love the flow. I always am a big fan of Logic's nerdy culture. I've actually met Logic. Lovely boy. He's from the same state as me. One time I met him, he invited me to Thanksgiving, which is very weird. Don't invite people to your house for Thanksgiving, people, but he did. Great album, but I said I couldn't in good faith put a man who comes out of retirement every 4 days on this list. I just can't do it. He hurts my brain.
Bobby on that ish again, got big games like Michigan. Don't think they listen and they bugging out like Zizzin.
Like, I think the opening of the album, like when you're reading it, is like, you and Logic fans should know better than to believe him when he says something is this final album. No, I want to believe you. I'm done with you. No more of this Jay-Z shit coming in and out of retirement. I'm over it. I'm done. His career was more akin to a Rainbow store that's always having an out of business sale. Damn! And the only other note that I did have, there was no album. Well, I think Chloe put out an album, but I didn't. But she and Halle reunited for a performance of Want Me. I'm gonna put as much as I can of it here because someone needs to see it.
Tell me I'm beautiful. He's sending me flowers. He never leave me alone. We're talking for hours, but you disappear for 3 days at a time and just leave me on red. Why is it the ones we don't want that one?
And that shit had me hyped, okay? That shit had me so hyped and excited for the next year because I think they're gonna come back together. I think they're gonna make beautiful music. I think they've both had their collective heartbreaks, both very public, but man, oh man, do I love seeing them perform together and how their artistry kind of evolves when they're together. It's like Michael Jackson and Prince coming together. Like, Chloe is very Michael Jackson, very much about the performance. Halle is much more Prince, about the good guitar. She has a love of rock that influences everything they do. And interestingness that it has a songwriter quality to it.
In your hands, you can't let go or you lose your chance. 'Cause after me, you'll never fall in love again. I need to let you go now. I'm hard to get hold of. I'll say one thing. My requiem of a dream. To whatever, bitch, you got a bushwick.
To it. And putting them together is like just power. Last up, we're gonna talk about what is back. Like I said earlier, K-pop and hip-hop are the two genres that I've been really focused on in 2024, and they are both actually making a comeback. With hip-hop, the West is up. Yes, of course, the beef did throw and thrust some people into the spotlight, put up the issue and the thoughts of like, how real is hip-hop anymore? But good creativity and good lyricism is finally back. Everyone is being clear and concise with their feelings, and they're rapping in a tone I can understand. Thank God mumble rap is dying. Obviously, we had GNX by Kendrick, Chromakopia by Tyler, Alligator Bites Back by Doji, all of those who made the list. Death of Slim Shady, of course, made the list. Samurai by Lupe, Ultra by Logic, but then we also had Insano by Kid Cudi, Fine Ho Stay by Flo Milli, and then of course we talked about Megan, Glorious is Glorilla.
Obviously, homage is to be paid to Snoop coming back and giving us what we deserve with Missionary, produced all by Dr. Dre.
I allow Dr. Dre to drive, which means that I do give him control and I don't have a problem with getting in the passenger seat and becoming Snoop Doggy Dogg and letting my mentor lead the way.
And if the feds come, you don't know me, and I don't know you, and I know nothing.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the sleeper hit that came in literally at the last moment after I already recorded this video, which was SZA's Lana.
Make sure you guys check out One of Them Days. It's out now in theaters. And get it to my girl SZA's album.
Y'all try to double team me into guilt because you know I'm affected by it? Fuck y'all.
I'm affected by it is everything.
Why we didn't know you was married, Issa? What the fuck is that? And where did he come from? Huh? You be kissing and shit? And you!
That's me. Passed out in a nigga backseat. Cashed out on the back sand beach. Already know my body. Already know that's me. Bitch, 50 might get me. All I want to love is solid.
I don't know about you, but I know 30 for 30 changed lives, and I know that every girl has been rapping Kendrick's part.
You fucking with niggas that's thinking they cuter than you? Oh, so you on your cycle, but he on his period too? Oh.
You and Kendrick consider doing a joint album?
I would love that. I would love that.
Part of his genius is him being so elusive and so mysterious. I don't know what's going on as much as you don't know what's going on. When Luther came out, I said, okay, that's the vocals we're using, period. He's so good at saying yes, but like staying grounded. So I'm just like, teach me, sensei, what you know.
Salina, middle fingers up, speak your truth.
You can never trivialize.
Y'all are yin and yang when you come together.
Kendrick and SZA have the best careers. Kendrick and SZA come out when they want to. Kendrick and SZA are not controlled by any algorithm. They're not controlled by any wave. I've said it a million times. I even talk about it in my new book, how you should be a wave and not a surfer.
Yes, yeah.
They are waves. Kendrick Lamar is a wave. SZA is a wave.
And like I said, SZA's not really rap, she's more R&B, and this is even less rap, but Beyonce's Cowboy Carter was also a sleeper to me. I didn't love and appreciate it when it came out. I thought it was fine, but nothing to write home about. Not like Renaissance, but once again, she shows us that no one knows Beyonce's music like Beyonce knows Beyonce's music.
I don't know why they continue. NFL has got to stop putting a football game in the middle of a Beyonce concert.
Step to the right, we headed to the dive bar. We always so nice. Ooh, run me to the left and spin me in the middle. Blue, I can't read your mind. This ain't Texas.
If we just gave her a chance to present it properly, which she did at the halftime game during Christmas.
Stop it! Stop it! What are you talking about?
Thank you so much.
Get down, you crazy Creole bitch! Get down! Oh!
I think the importance of versatility was in the beginning of the year, and then now the tail end of the year is authenticity. There's so much more care and consideration in different and versatile sounds within hip hop, but also keeping that authenticity. And I think that that is one of the reasons why I think creativity, authenticity, versatility are all being met within hip hop right now. Similarly, K-pop is back. We had NMIXX that gave us Dash and Run for Roses from the FE304 break, which is a fucking crazy thing to name your album. That's why I had to read it all. This is don't do that shit again, NMIXX. I don't have time for it. But they really showcased their stuff and showed their ass, and I love and appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like they really did their big one. We started the year strong with like Dopamine by Only One Of, which I personally really love the production of it. Was giving me like the weird sci-fi era of Shady that I loved. We had Crazy and Easy by the Seraphim. I like Easy because it set me up for Crazy. Our expectations were real low with Easy. Unpopular opinion, I think that Easy is a good song. I think it's a fun song. I think the choreo and the music video are very fun. Smart is a song that's interesting and fun. I mean, now that like I've listened to like Spell and The Eight's Orbit, I'm like, there's ways that could have been done better. But you know, it was a step in the right direction, and I think that Easy, unpopular opinion, was a good setup for Crazy, which was their comeback. And like that's the story of the year. It's the comeback kids. It's people coming out of retirement, coming back from like their low lows and really eating us up. And Crazy really ate us up. Like the only reason it wasn't on this album is because A, it was an EP, and B, I don't know about that last song. It really, like, it's a good song, but I feel like Yeonjun should just say that for her own, like, EP down the road. We had Sad Talk by P1 Harmony, which really ate the girls up. They also had Killin' It, but Sad Talk I feel like was the second gen call to action.
Every song we feel like, every song we feel like another sad song. 모두가 춤을 추는 mad song. 내 가슴에 멍드는 blues, 내게는 다른 truths. They make you wanna dance, 그래도 난 이겨내.
We had 2 by G Idol, which really broke barriers of like what was okay to put out with like wife getting canceled.
Cream soup, taste is cocoa roco. Want me your wife, but she is.
We had Romance Untold, Daydream with Enhypen. We had Minisode 3 by TXT. Which had all the variety on it, including another Afrobeats baby that we do appreciate. Of All We Have Lost by Billie, and that song, I will never get over Trampoline. You can never make me get over Trampoline, and it is one of the best things I've ever heard. Strategy by Twice, which is showing how you can be the longevity of your career can shift how your perspective is. TXT does it a lot. Twice is really showing it out for the girls, because a lot of the times girls keep the same concept going up, but Twice were the child girlies girls, like your girl crush next to, not girl crush, but your girl, the girl next door vibe. And now with Strategy, they really showcased a adult version of that. But we're still a sweet girl, but we're just a sweet and cunty girl. G-Dragon being back in fucking general is crazy. Home Sweet Home, don't get me started with Jason. I love that man. I will go to war for him. But also seeing Big Bang perform together on the Mama stage with Home Sweet Home. 21's comeback concert.
Like, dang, even Baby Vox is back.
Virtuous by Dreamcatcher, which fucking phenomenal, because if you've heard Two Rings and Justice, you know that those two songs slap harder than they should. Again, another reason why it wasn't on another album that would have been on this list if it was not an EP. And then of course, finally, the comeback of 2025 that is coming, G-Friend. Got 7.
I know I'm right, watch me with the lights on, but she got a hold on me like a python. I don't wanna lose her, yeah, she was my future. Shot to the chest, I was falling for the shooter.
potentially BTS. I know they said that they were switching it to 2026, but I still feel like they're going to drop at least something. But BTS all being out of the war, like GFriend having a 10th anniversary comeback, GOT7 coming back in January, that means Jackson and Bam Bam are going to be in the same group making the same music. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. It's so good, okay? With that being said, that was what I have to say about music. This is an extra long video because I did 15 albums plus mentioning a lot of other ancillary albums. I don't know how I'm going to edit this together, but thank you for sticking with me, internet friends. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned.